Hello. Recently, I fell in love with a sport, that sport being rally. However, I'm not a massive fan of new rally. 80s and 90s rally is the best kind of rally. To convince people that I'm right, I decided to make countless rally races across Mexico using community builders events. These cars are being pushed to the limits with these races. Pure speed and passion. I think these are better than new rally cars. To prove it, I'm going to show you 2 or 3 of the races I've built today using the Lancia 037, in my opinion, the second coolest rally car of the 80s. If you want to see any more cars like the Audi Quattro, maybe the Lancia Delta, or any other rally cars from the 80s and 90s there in Forza, tell me in the comments and I'll probably go and do it. Might make more races as well. However, I'm going to show you all the races that I have built on the back of me enjoying and loving rally. So I've named them, like these are races I've made and they took absolutely ages to do. And they're awesome. In my opinion, they're some of the coolest races that I've ever done. So we're going to do the most recent race that I've made. I made this one yesterday. I actually used the 037 to make this. And it's absolutely amazing. It's an awesome event in my opinion. And the car that I use for it, it looks visually and sounds perfect. Now, a bit of a history lesson. Back in 1980, Audi decided they were going to try and implement four-wheel drive into rally. So they went to WRC in a meeting, and they thought, let's try and make rally four-wheel drive. So they implemented the idea, and somehow it passed. This was the birth of modern rally, with cars like the Audi Quattro being implemented. Other racing companies, I guess they're called, like Lancia, needed someone to use and fight backwards, so they made the 037. However, Lancia decided they weren't ready for four-wheel drive yet, so they kept it as a two-wheel drive vehicle, and it was amazing. Even though there were cars that were faced up against, like the Audi Quattro, the 037 performed incredibly. It was on par, if not better, than the Quattro back when it was first released in 1982. This thing was mega. It was absolutely mental. It won stage after stage after stage. However, there were certain stages Lancia just didn't go to, and there's actually good reason for this. I don't think Lancia would have seen it that way, but the driver, oh god, I completely missed the term. The driver of the Lancia, he just did not want to go to the race. So Lancia didn't have enough people to go to it. The driver at the time wanted to only go to the visually cool looking rallies, like, any of them I think are awesome, but he didn't want to go to certain ones. He didn't think they were good enough, or probably safe enough, let's be honest. So he thought, nah, I'm not going to go to that one. And Lancia would have to miss the rally because there was no one to drive. So they had to massively do well in the stages they did go to. And they performed absolutely amazingly. The 037 was mental. It won so many stages at the time, beating the Quattro, which was in reality a better car. However, them just didn't have as good drivers, I guess, because Lancia in the 1980s won so many stages. It was actually super stupid. They even went on to win a few of the rally seasons, which no one really expected. Considering Audi brought out a four-wheel drive car into rally, Lancia decided to stay in the Stone Age and stick with two-wheel drive. However, Their little two-wheel drive car, which no one expected to do very well, won a lot. It is one of the coolest cars, in my opinion, that have ever been created. Especially with the livery that they were rocking. Like, look at this thing. I've decided to download. Oh god, I lost my bucket. I've decided to download someone's skin, or is it like tune? It's not tune. Someone's skin for the car in Forza 5, and it's scarily accurate. It looks awesome. Like, if I could, I would definitely buy an 037 and put the livery on it, because it is one of the coolest looking cars, coolest looking liveries that have ever been made. The Audi Quattro, it looked good. But the livery, it just wasn't as cool as this one. Like, you just can't deny it looked good. It's probably one of the nicest things ever. However, I'm not going to bore you with much more history. You can just sit back and listen to the purr of the engine and me probably screaming when I go off track over the cliff. So, enjoy. flipped half a truck. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh my god. Oh god. Should really put some balance for the next race I do. Now then, that was the first race complete. I want you to see if you can try beat this race in 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Because that's pretty much what the time I had was. If you can do that, you get a shout out in the next video that I do. For yes. Oh! So I could have had 100 grand or whatever the car is underneath, but I got 5 grand. That's just annoying. Right, however, I'm going to do another race. It'll probably be a shorter race and not like 20 kilometers or whatever that one is. So, I just need to wait for Forza to load. It takes a while, there we go. Now then, my events. What race should I might go Rally Monsters one. How much was that? No, I'm doing that one. That one's long. Solo. This is probably one of my favourite cars that I have. It's the starter car, but it's so fun. It's actually not even funny. It's just a fun thing to race in. So we are going to use this, but it's a shorter race. But it's really fun. As you can see, I've got a Monster Energy livery on it. No, I did not make this. I don't have the time nor the skills to make something that impressive. So most liveries that I use are made by someone else. The ones I do use definitely are not this detailed. Listen to the sound of this though. Right, this car is fun. I honestly forgot where I had to go. So, you know, just really went past the turn. I do kind of wish that I didn't have this during a wet season though. Because the road is very, very slippery, especially while going around wide, well, not wide, but wet bends. This thing is really fun to drive though, because it's fast but not super car fast, and you have to have some form of control because it just sticks to the road. Right, you do have to brake and like manage your braking correctly and everything, because otherwise you just lose control. However, this thing is absolutely awesome. It's so fun. Yeah, this one's not nearly as long, so this one will probably take roughly 10-ish minutes to complete. So I'll let you guys just sit, listen to the car and watch the road while I enjoy this thing as well as much as you will. No, we're at the end as well. And there you have it. The second race complete. In my opinion, these are two of my favourite races that I've made. They're just fun to do. However, I've had an idea while doing that. I think you guys should put your times that you get in the comments doing those races with some form of evidence, don't really care what. And then I might make like some form of leaderboard of who is the fastest for each of the races. So I think that might be a fun and cool idea to do. It's like 80s kind of rally. I might make like teams that everyone is in. So depending on what car you drive is depending on the team you're in. So if we have 4 like Lancia Delta drivers, then they'll be like a team, and then they'll have like an average for their time. So if there's 4, I'll make an average of times for whatever they do, and then we'll have like a scoreboard for who has the best average time. And then I think that might be a fun or cool idea, and then we might have like a single thing as well with the top 5 times of the week that people have done. So as I said, if you want to check out the races, there's Event Lab or Creative Hub Event Lab, and for me it's my events, but for you guys you'll have to go to Blueprints, and then I just want you to search up WRC Mexico and it should come up. Just test that theory now. Search title WRC WRC Mexico. There's a lot of them, but I've made a load of them, so usually like WRC Mexico, and then they've got some sort of stage. So, you know, for me, or for you, you've got that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. These are the ones you're going to want to look out for, and you're going to want to look for this name that pops up.